Everybody. Hey, I just want to drop in and kind of piggyback on the last video that I did. I was talking about relationships. I was talking about the complications that we bring in relationships, and today I want to kind of just still stay in that same vein, but talk about what is actually plaguing our relationships. As I mentioned before, we're seeing a trend of singlehood increasing. Now, this applies to those that desire a relationship but find themselves not in a relationship. And there's some of us that just choose, we're cool with being single, and that's fine. So, but I just want to speak to those that actually desires to be in a relationship, but they keep finding themselves experiencing a plague that's keeping them single. Okay, there's three basic things that's plaguing us. One is avoidance. Two is control. And the third thing is unforgiveness. Really think about it. When we think about love, we start thinking about control. We start thinking about restrictions. And so what's happened is, the reason why we see singlehood is it's a resistance to restrictions and control. A lot of times, nowadays, I hear women, and I hear more women, but I hear men too. People talk about they're scared of relationship. People say, well, I'm not, people can't handle a strong person as such as I, and stuff like that. And that might be some reason, but to be honest with you, a lot of the reason that we have singlehood out here is simply because there's control and restrictions, and people are trying to resist that because it's not in us to be dominated by each other. And so what's happened is we have transformed and have shifted, the orientation about love into something that is about, it's predatory. It's about conquering. Even the ideas when we sit there and say men are hunters. Are we hunters? I'm not a hunter. I'm not trying to hunt you. I'm trying to build with you, trying to build rapport with you, and invest into you. And so when you're talking about hunting, it means that you're on a conquest. And long as we keep thinking things will be on a conquest, then someone's going to become a victim. And that's what we have. We have a victimization that we see going on in relationships because somebody's being hunted. It ain't always men either. Women hunt as well too. So I just want to keep it neutral. But so the control piece is the plague. As soon as we get to a space and rise in maturity, and to be honest with you, it requires a spiritual understanding of things. Because once you understand that as a human, I'm not here to dominate you or to conquer you. I'm here to love you. I'm here to enjoy with you. I'm here to understand you. I'm here to build peace with you. I'm here to exchange peace with you. And as we begin to understand that, then we can begin to shift out of some of these plagues that we're dealing with. Also avoidance. It's funny. A lot of us, if we be honest, a lot of us have bypassed potential relationships because of avoidance. And the main thing, that reason what we're avoiding is, we're avoiding no. And see, what happened is that we are seeking out people that's only going to say yes to us. Yes to our bullshit. Yes to whatever we bring. Yes to our preferences. It's all about the yes. It's never about the no. And so we have forgotten that love is very fluid. But love also is corrective. It's self-corrective, and it's also corrective. Not in a demeaning way, not in a condemning way, but it is corrective because sometimes we have to correct. Sometimes we have to hear no. Everything is not permissible. And so we have lost sight of that. And because we lost sight of that, we're only seeking out relationships that's going to keep telling us yes. And a lot of times if we keep receiving yes, it's going to take us on a crash course. So guess what? That's a plague. Just something to think about. Then also unforgiveness. And I'm very big about this, and everyone that knows that's attended Wine and Vibe sessions and other sessions that I do or where I've spoken at, is that I'm hoping that sooner or later that this resonates with people. You don't have a relationship if you have unforgiveness. If you're not willing to forgive, you can forget the relationship. What has happened is that we're collecting offenses against each other, and we're stacking it, and stacking it, and stacking it, and stacking it, and stacking upon each other. And so then what begins to happen is, as we begin to keep stacking on it, we harbor on this, on these offenses, we are not trying to relinquish it. And so what happens is, everything could be seeming going good, going fine. And then as soon as we find ourselves angry, find ourselves being restricted, being controlled, or find ourselves, our needs not being met and our desires not being met, what begins to happen is that we simply act out of unforgiveness. We hold people into the court of our own hearts, and we consider them guilty. And so we keep stacking all these bricks on top of each other, and we have this big old wall up, and we're not willing to take that wall down. To take that wall down, we have to start forgiving. Each time we forgive, we remove a brick. Forgiveness don't mean that people can do whatever they want to us. That's not what I'm talking about. I ain't got time to deal with that part. But just to forgive, to remove the bricks. See, the goal in love is fluidity. Love comes from a selfless space. Love is a beautiful renewing exchange. Forgiveness keeps that exchange renewing. What we have to do is remove the things that's getting in the way of love. I love what, the great mystic poet Rumi said. Our job, our task is not to figure out, what's, our task in love, basically, and to summarize it, was to deal with the things that's getting in the way of love. Love just exists. We just have to exist with it and enjoy with it. And by doing that, we have to address the things that's plaguing love, the barriers that's in the way of love. I have to get rid of my desires to control. I have to get rid of my desire, my tendency to avoid the no's. I have to get rid of my attitude about harboring unforgiveness. There's no life in forgiveness. Think about it. We know that, but we embrace it. So if we're harboring unforgiveness in our relationships, guess what? The relationship's going to die eventually. All right? So I just want to drop a little something. Hey, everybody just be easy. Hey, love y'all. And and I just want to share this. People have been reaching out to me and stuff about do some things more in relationships and stuff like that. Here's my thing. I'm willing to do it, but I'm going to do it on ConnectPal, on my subscribe-based page. And I'll probably start doing that probably in the middle of November. So I'll keep everybody in tune on that. So if you're really serious about that, you have to subscribe to the page. It's a monthly, it's a monthly obligation, but I guarantee it'll be worth it. Hey, again, be easy. One love.